Let's go over Star Wars Episode 9 when it comes to J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio, who both wrote the movie. This is Mike Zero here. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, as you all know, we've been learning a whole lot more about Episode 9 as we get closer to the principal photography stage of this big motion picture that's being held by Lucasfilm and Disney. Now, looking at the fact here that JJ will be wrapping up the entire sequel trilogy, I want to talk a little bit more about Chris Terrio, in case you guys have no idea who Chris Terrio is, and this is where some of the concerns come into play. Minor concerns. Now, in case you guys didn't know, Chris Terrio, he worked on Batman vs. Superman, he worked on Justice League, and is currently working on Justice League Part 2. But he also worked on Argo, a hit movie, which, by the way, I saw about a year ago. It's a fantastic movie, and you can just see his writing style on the big screen and how fluent it really is. But looking at Chris Terrio, I think that he really is a talent, and I think that's why they had him as a co-writer with J.J. Abrams, is because this was indeed a very difficult task, and an important task at that. So when it comes to Chris Terrio, we do know that both JJ and Chris worked together on this movie for a very long time, ever since they took over Colin Trevorrow. Now, Terrio will be providing a fresh addition to the Star Wars universe. His writing is said to bridge the space between fans who love prequel lore, while at the same time keeping it well grounded in the original trilogy style when it comes to dialogue and worlds. And this is something that really, is perking a lot of ears up when it comes to the Star Wars fans, because prequel lore is indeed coming for Star Wars Episode 9 in whatever way you want to look at that. I'm not quite sure whether it's going to be characters or little hidden secrets that we are actually going to be, taught about in this movie. There are several different, possibilities that could very well happen in this film. Now, what's interesting to me, though, is that both JJ and Chris have expressed before, behind the scenes apparently, that they are going to be brave with this movie, and they will be big surprises. And not only that, Chris has expressed that 9 makes it feel like that they are all happening in the same universe. This Star Wars story, this Star Wars movie, is going to be a way of uniting all 3 trilogies into one massive film. Now, prequel elements are said to be both visual and thematic. Now, when we look at the prequel trilogy, we've actually heard about this about a week ago, and this really does indeed match up. Now, prequel trilogy, alright, when it comes to the prequel trilogy, you see all these different set designs and how things are built and how things are shown when the movies are completed. You guys may have heard this about a week ago, that over at Pinewood, they're building these sets that really mirror that, of sets that they used for the prequel trilogy. And the fact that prequel elements are said to be both visual and thematic, I think could very well mean that we are going back to a classic planet from the prequel era, maybe even Naboo. Now, the reason why I want to go over this is because I really wanted to go into the writer Chris Terrio. I know that there have been some minor concerns, not massive concerns on this guy writing this movie, but some people really disliked Batman vs. Superman, and a lot of people, would say otherwise. Same goes as follows for Justice League. However, if you look at what he's done with Argo, it's such a masterpiece. I don't know if you guys agree with me on that, but it is such a masterpiece. And do keep in mind that when it comes to the sequel trilogy, Star Wars Episode 9, we really have 2 big creators writing this script for the final film in the sequel trilogy. You have J.J. Abrams, who wrote a Star Wars film before, and he worked on a lot of Star Trek movies as well. And you have Chris Terrio, who is a part of the DCEU. So there's all, these great things about these 2 writers that are closing it all together, and I think that we're just going to have to wait and see exactly what they bring to us, and I really do hope that it all adds up. So we're going to be learning more as the weeks roll by as to, when we get closer to principal photography. We're going to be hearing a whole lot more about this film. We're going to be learning about the final decisions on exactly where they will be shooting this movie. So I cannot wait to get to that, whole entire stage. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about this. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. And thank you all so very much for the kind support. And I'll catch you guys next time.